Drexler are in the backcourt. Up front, Hakeem Olajuwon is flanked by Robert Horry and Pete Chilcutt. Kevin Johnson and Wesley Person in the backcourt. Up front, Joe Klein with Charles Barkley, Bennett Salvatore, Hugh Evans, and Hugh Hollins in the opening tap to A.C. Green and the Phoenix Suns.
And Hakeem has to ask himself, well, Chilcutt, where do you want me to tip it next time? Hit you in the hands that time.
Johnson on the drive. And here come the Rockets. Smith.
And that might be the difference in the ball game right there. Kevin Johnson, a tight start, missed his drive. Kenny Smith, a loose start, even bobbled, and he got it up and down.
No defensive rotation for Phoenix.
A.C. Green looks to Barkley. Double team comes. Barkley looks down low, and it's picked off by Chilcutt.
I wouldn't double team Barkley until I see what kind of game he's got, knowing he's playing with that injured knee.
Olajuwon with his hands on the ball for the first time.
And no double team on Olajuwon.
Shot clock is at 5. Back outside, Chilcutt, and then to Smith. Overshot, Green has the ball.
Passed up too many easy opportunities early in the clock.
Kevin Johnson outside, A.C. Green. A.C. Green's long shot has been off in the postseason. He hits his first.
A.C. finally makes one. The guy's out here 3 or 4 hours before every game. Wondering if he's going to keep shooting it while he continues to brick.
Game tied at 2. Olajuwon ball away, back rim. Barkley has it.
A bit of a limp to Barkley's easy gait. Normally he would drive that rebound up himself.
Barkley forces his way in, got the basket and drew the foul.
What they don't want to do is let Charles Barkley think that he can have his way, and they allow it on this particular post-up play. If you're Olajuwon, you don't want to waste fouls against him. You know that he's ailing. You want to make him have to do something on that bad leg. So he is not 100%. If he gets a couple of shots to go in, he's going to think it's going to be another one of those great starts.
First personal foul on Hakeem Olajuwon. Barkley makes it a 5-2 Phoenix lead.
As will often happen with an injured player of such spectacular proportions as Barkley, is you'll focus in on your skill level more than just relying on your physical talent.
Drexler double team. Kenny Smith for 3.
Too careless, too casual.
Kevin Johnson and a blocking foul against the Rockets. Pete Chilcutt has his first.
Rudy buys the call, but he doesn't want Kevin Johnson going to the line on the pass-off. What they've got to do is get to Kevin Johnson earlier. In Game 4, where he exploded on him for the 43 points, they allowed him to set the tone, and when he can get a rhythm, he'll rip your heart out.
Tapped away from Barkley, out of bounds to the Rockets.
Drexler has not had a touch yet offensively. Kenny Smith's job is to get everybody involved. Hakeem's had a couple. How about an isolation for Drexler?
Horry over A.C. Green. Way too strong. Houston just 1 out of 5. Kevin Johnson open. KJ.
One of the great front-running teams in basketball. Horrible entry pass by Kenny Smith.
Kevin Johnson down the lane. Rudy Tomjanovich says timeout.
Johnson has set an early message about who's going to win the battle between the offense and the defense. Kevin Johnson has been the aggressor. Kenny Smith is on his heels. Kenny Smith cannot defend Kevin Johnson whenever he is backing up. He's got to go to him. Otherwise, not only are his numbers going to grow, but the Houston Rockets string of elimination is finally going to come to an end.
And how about KJ, though, settling him up with the drive? Those are successful. Then the outside jumper goes down. Beautiful strategy.
Olajuwon can't hit. The Rockets scored the first basket of the game. Phoenix has scored the last 9 points. Barkley.
If you're the Rockets, what you have to do is maintain your composure and poise. You're down 9, but you know that the Suns will let you back in the game because they like to score the ball. So you got to get the ball to people that can get the job done. Drexler finally breaks the run.
The Suns' defense, though, has been stifling, with the exception of the first breakdown. Barkley and Kevin Johnson are just on fire right now. Everything they touch turns to gold, and the defense for Phoenix has been good enough to force very difficult shots.
And then you must have heard you talking about expansion. And they don't want to leave. They don't want to leave the Valley of the Sun, so they're playing like Hall of Fame guys now.
Olajuwon will go to the line. Joe Klein draws his first of the day.
Olajuwon, the reigning MVP in the NBA, trying to make it an all-centers conference finals. Shaq and David Robinson already in. Ewing poised to go in tomorrow, and Hakeem Olajuwon can take care of business. We'd have the 4 big guys in there to settle things.
Well, aren't we the assuming kind on a Saturday afternoon?
And isn't Rick Smith the center?
Olajuwon 0 for 2 from the line, 0 for 2 from the field. 13-4 Phoenix. Barkley around the double team. And a 3-second violation on the Suns.
Barkley looking to stay on the ground a lot today. Not getting in the air, not exploding. It's the left knee that's sore for a right-handed player. That's your power jumping leg. He can pivot fine, he just can't explode to the hoop.
Chilka on the other side.
That's the play. That's the play that Drexler makes possible for all the cutters because he's such a great passer.
Let's go back to the passing game at the other end.
A simple play, and if you're Chilcutt, you're just making eye contact. You want to let Drexler know you're going to the basket, uses the rim on the other side for the score, and that's all made because Drexler gives you the ball where you can do something with it.
Meanwhile, first personal on Kenny Smith.
I like the way Houston, though, is
AC Green. And the loose ball to the Suns. Wesley Person for 3. And Olajuwon with the rebound. Long outlet for Drexler, who will put it up.
That's a terrible shot. Hakeem barely got the rebound on his second effort, overthrew the outlet to the deep corner, and you pull up off that catch and shoot a 3.
Johnson outside Joe Klein. That shot has been there all series long for Joe Klein. Whistle down low. This foul, it looks like it's going to be on Klein.
Kevin Johnson is really just playing right into the Rockets' hand. He knows Hakeem is going to come every time. Joe Klein, who was out here hours before the game, working on that spot-up jumper, top of the key area. This is Kevin Johnson's game mentally at this point.
Dan Shays is going to replace Klein in the lineup now. Klein with 2 personals will take a seat on the bench.
Klein barking the entire time, but that's a tough matchup for he and Shays. They've got to try to body Olajuwon out. They're not allowing these guys much contact, and Olajuwon's got too much juice.
Shot doesn't fall for Hakeem. Barkley clears the board. 0 for 3 for Hakeem from the field so far today. 6:10 to play here in the first. The Suns lead at 15-6.
The limp for Barkley is getting more noticeable.
out of bounds. Ori tipped it as he was out of bounds, so the Suns get the ball back and a new 24. Then if that limp is so noticeable, you see it, Rudy's got to see it, the players have got to see it. You got to now get the ball at the other end of the floor and attack Charles Barkley, be it Chilcutt, Chucky Brown, anybody, and make him move and react.
Robert Horry, you would think now Rudy Tomjanovich, who in my opinion has done a better job of coaching this year than he did last year when they won the world championship, with this mismatch of players he's got out there caused by injuries and the defection of Vernon Maxwell.
Maxwell gone for personal reasons. Carl Herrera out with a separated shoulder. Here's Barkley.
Illegal defense on Olajuwon.
And Barkley hits the ball away. 17-6, Phoenix. Barkley has 7.
That's an illegal defense on Kevin Johnson if we're going to call these illegals, but I don't think that's going to be the call of the day.
Olajuwon across the lane and draws the foul. Let's go back to Charles Barkley.
What Charles Barkley has been able to do is get down deep and work one-on-one. When Charles Barkley has been taken out of the game, the double team comes. It comes too late, and he just turns around and fades.
The last Game 7 that Charles Barkley played here at America West in the Valley of the Sun. Seattle 2 years ago, the Western Conference Finals, 44 points, 24 rebounds.
Not a bad day at the office.
But that
doesn't get any better than that.
That game, the Sonics broke off to a terrific start, and Charles Barkley demanded the ball. He went over to the bench and said, Paul, timeout. We got to have the ball.
Great block by Drexler. Most everyone on the Rockets caught sleeping. Drexler got back and saved the day.
It always helps in this game to have unbelievable athletic talent to make up for mental lapses.
Horry's 3 doesn't go. Barkley another rebound. Kevin Johnson. This one comes up short, and here come the Rockets.
The way Barkley's keeping his elbows high on his defensive rebound is going to scare the other guys from Houston from coming in there.
Olajuwon off of Kenny Smith's miss. Kenny Smith for 3.
Kenny has come out really aggressive at the offensive end, but he's not got a good rhythm. With the exception of the drive, everything has been flat and a little rushed, so he's probably going to have to sit down and calm down so that he can get into the game at the offensive end.
Kevin Johnson cleared everybody out and tried to drive on Drexler. Wesley Person. And the rebound to Olajuwon. And a foul called at the other end of the floor. It's on Person.
Person got matched up in transition with Robert Horry. Horry was going for the deep post. All he could do, Person giving up lots of size, is foul or see if Horry can make a shot.
Second on Person. Drexler inside. Clyde Drexler. 4 on the day for Clyde. 17-9. Phoenix leads. 4:10 to play here in the first.
Again, penetration and dish.
The pass, a 3-second violation.
The play that set up Clyde Drexler's drive was the same one that he passed to Pete Chilcutt. They came brush screen. Drexler then had the defense leaning the other way, bang right at the basket. So he's trying to make a good read and get the high percentage shot.
Come right back to it.
Drexler again.
This is a play, the way Drexler's playing, Akeem a little cold to start the game. You know he'll heat up over time. Just give it to Drexler every time.
Barkley. And that's an illegal defense call. Go back to Clyde Drexler.
Well, Drexler rarely drives baseline. Surprises Marley. Same play, and then it's a 2-down, throw down over the top. He is into this game now.
That was your game, wasn't it, Steve? Ride that baseline and throw it down over 3 guys?
No, you know that commercial. Rain from deep.
Kevin Johnson down the lane. No one picked up Kevin Johnson. He has 8 today.
But again, it's Kevin Johnson's mind game. He penetrates in dishes, then he penetrates and shoots. Hakeem frozen defensively.
Olajuwon on the baseline, and a whistle blows.
KJ has come down the lane so many times and looked for passing angles that Olajuwon is anticipating that. He's standing in that lane waiting. You got to move in, seal off all options.
Now, first rule of defense is to stop the guy with the ball. If you don't do that, it doesn't make any difference after that. So they've got to do the same thing. They get a travel on Olajuwon. He took a couple of extra steps after he got by Danny Shea.
Timeout on the floor. 2:58 to play in the first. The Suns lead it by 8, and this is the NBA on NBC. Well, Charles Barkley has said many times that the Suns will only go as far as he will carry them, and he knows the Suns are looking to him this afternoon.
I'm playing against a guy who I feel like it's a mismatch. I think it's important for me to get off just to have a good game because I feel like the great player on the other team is going to get off also. I don't think you're going to stop great players. You can take the ball out of their hands and take them out the game somewhat, but they're still going to get 20 points, and if they have a great game, 30 points. So if I'm playing, I just want to make sure that their guy doesn't dominate me. Their best player doesn't dominate me statistics-wise.
How is Charles doing today? He has 7 points. Hakeem Olajuwon of the Rockets has 1. Let's check in with Hannah Storm. Hannah?
Well, Greg, during those first 2 timeouts, Charles Barkley had a heating pad on that knee. The team doctor says they're going to treat it alternately with heat and ice throughout the game. He has told the trainer that it's still very sore. He received an anti-inflammatory shot before the game, but not a cortisone shot, so he's not taking much for the pain, and they do feel that he's favoring that knee, Greg.
All right, Hannah, thank you. Meanwhile, on the drive on the baseline by Kevin Johnson, Clyde Drexler draws his first personal of the day.
Kevin Johnson is dealing with injury problems of his own. He takes the weekly acupuncture treatments to try to relieve the pain and tightness in those hamstrings.
Kevin Johnson also wearing a couple of stitches in his lips from a collision with Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, but you don't run on your lips.
You know, Bill. Coming up on 2.5 minutes to play here in the first. 21-11 Phoenix. Up shot. Doesn't go. Marley rebounds for Phoenix. Kevin Johnson will push it again. Over Kenny Smith. That's short.
That's the first time Kenny Smith has been up and had some defensive presence against Kevin Johnson. Let's see if the Rockets can set up their inside-outside game. They haven't really gotten it going yet, and the Suns have been able to react, and they haven't gotten guys wide open threes. They've all been under pressure.
Mismatch here. Johnson reached in and drew the foul. Chilcutt had Kevin Johnson down low, and Johnson drew the foul.
Now, Chilcutt has to realize this is a guy that's about 1.5 foot shorter than him. He was thinking of throwing that ball out. Kevin Johnson bails him out, not happy with the call. But when you're playing, you got to recognize when you've got an advantage. And Chilcutt, if he's going to help his team, has got to score those key points.
Chilcutt, who's been playing pretty well. That's the position, though, that Houston will have to improve in the offseason to get back to the championship level.
Rockets are 2 out of 6 from the free throw line today. 21-12, 2 minutes to play in the first.
Now they take the ball out of Barkley's hands. He wants it back.
Tapped out. Shot clock is at 3. Barkley forces it up and grabs the rebound. And a new 24 for the Suns. Barkley directing traffic with the left hand. Marley open for a 3. And here comes Drexler. Cassell. Drexler up. And tapped back to Olajuwon.
See, when the Rockets are hurrying their threes, they're not nearly as dangerous. And every three that they've shot so far has not been in a set, and it's been under pressure.
There's an loose ball foul. That goes against the Rockets. That's Pete Shilka. Three-pointers have not been in evidence here, and especially surprisingly, the Houston Rockets back in Game 5 set an NBA record, hoisting up 32 of them, so you know there'll be a lot more.
And Houston's been shooting a better percentage from threes in the series, 37% to 32%. Really one of the only statistical differences in this dead-even series.
AC Green in the postseason has now made 54 of 60 free throws. Barkley out, Weaver Tisdale in.
It's going to be the AC Green and Tisdales that make the difference if the Phoenix Suns are going to win. Charles Barkley is going to be spotted in and out of this ball game. He may not be able to keep his point production up. They're going to have to step up. Chuck Brown, put that in.
The Suns get a gift.
They're not going to be able to leave Barkley out too long. That leg will tighten up.
Coming up on 50 seconds to play. Cassell.
Again, under duress, and 12 points for the Houston Rockets. This is a very solid road team. The Rockets, the sixth best road record in the NBA this year. San Antonio and Phoenix 1 and 2 there.
Tisdale loses the handle. Marley with the shot clock at 5. And a whistle blows, and that's a tough foul way up top when the Suns are hustling to get a shot off before the shot clock expires.
What Drexler has to remember is Dan Marley is not driving the ball, so you don't have to run out on him without being under control. He's going to look to shoot the three. He's backing up further and further. Make him make the shot from half court.
It's hard to imagine why you would foul Marley at all out there. Kevin Johnson enjoying the day, but Marley's numbers on this series, 6.2.
And shooting less than 24% from the three-point line.
Marley's made one of his last 9 three-pointers. Ouch.
Drexler has to sit. He got off to a really explosive start, and he's one of those players like Kevin Johnson. They get too excited, they go over the edge of control. So this period will probably help calm him down, and he may still be able to come back in and do some big offensive damage in the second quarter.
Elliot Perry now on Sam Cassell, who just reached back and grabbed Perry's wrist. 10 seconds for the quarter. Olajuwon with the turnaround. That's off the mark, and he drew a foul.
In the game that they lost here in 1 and 2, Olajuwon got off to very, very stiff starts. Shea's fouled on that one, but he doesn't look under control and hasn't decided how he's going to hurt the Phoenix Suns down in the low post. So he's got to get himself in a proper state of mind of attacking at the offensive end.
Olajuwon now 2 out of 5 from the line this afternoon. Kenny Smith back in for the last 5 seconds, and Wesley Person as well.
Phoenix's defense has been too good here. Houston hasn't had any good looks. To have 13 points is inexcusable. Houston, the second best scoring team in the NBA playoffs at over 108 points a game. Phoenix number 1.
Olajuwon misses another one. 2 seconds, 1 second. Elliot Perry lost it out of bounds as time expires. A very poor offensive performance here in the first by the Houston Rockets, but Kevin Johnson and Charles Barkley lead the way. After 1, the Suns lead the Rockets 26-13 by a grand total of 5 points.
Dr. J flying through the air there. Tough to lose that 7th game, but really the only road team that's ever won the 7th game since coming back from being down 3-1 has been the Celtics in '68, Russell's 10th championship.
That That one falls for Sam Cassell. So the Rockets start the second quarter off with a bucket, 26-15 Phoenix.
Confusion here for the second unit for Phoenix, which has really been struggling.
Long range three by Perry. And Chucky Brown off the bench and with a rebound.
This is where Houston has to make a run. They got Akeem versus a bunch of second string guys.
Akeem fouled by Shays. That's 2 on Danny Shays. Let's check in with Hannah.
Well, as usual, Greg, the Houston Rockets are more concerned with their defense than their offense, particularly Kevin Johnson. They talked about picking him up higher, putting pressure on him. They think he's penetrating too much. And also, Charles Barkley, they're putting ice now on that knee. Remember, they're alternating heat and ice. He's back in the game, and they say so far so good. He'll be able to come in and go out in his normal rotation of play. Greg?
All right, Hannah. Olajuwon will go to the line where he is just 2 of 6 today.
Shays has picked up his second personal foul. He sits down. Klein's got 2. He's back in the ball game. But Olajuwon has not looked good at the offensive end. He has not been able to get the free throws down. There's been confusion about how he wants to score the ball. So he's got to settle down. So he may be playing against a bunch of second stringers, but right now he's on your expansion list. He's got to step up.
A great player like Akeem, the hardest guys to play against are the expansion guys, because you don't have that edge. You don't have the Ewing and the Shaq and the Robinson to get you going.
3 for 8 from the line for Akeem so far. Barkley pushed by Chucky Brown before the shot.
The second unit for Phoenix started off the series just great, averaging almost 40 points a game in the first 3 games. Since that, though, they have fallen off under 15 points per game total for the whole slew of substitutes that Westfall loves to put in there.
Still Phoenix ball.
Olajuwon is a double-team guy, and he's done a good job of doubling and zoning, not getting called for the illegal defense. He's going to foul against Joe Klein.
And that's number 3 on Klein before the shot. The shot does not count by Ames. And Danny Shays will come back in. So now Paul Westfall into shuffling centers.
When you've got a gunner like Danny Ainge out there, you don't need to worry about setting too good a screen, because he's going to get his shot off regardless.
Olajuwon, fade away. Still can't get the field goal to fall. 0 for 5 from the floor. That's a trap. Elliot Perry took off at the top of the key before he dribbled.
Greg, with Akeem struggling offensively, and Paul Westfall's got to be the happiest guy in the world about that. Time to shoot the fade away every time. Turn and face. Drive to the hoop. You got both big guys, Klein and Shays, in foul trouble. Turn and face, get to the hoop, get more foul shots.
Now, you're saying that now, but when you talked to him before the game, you didn't give him that advice.
Olajuwon hits his first from the floor in 6 attempts. He has 5 on the afternoon, 26-18 Phoenix.
I usually just tell him congratulations.
The ball game is down to an 8-point game, and if they can take the ball out of Barkley's hands and try to make one of these other players make some shots, they have a chance to get back in the second quarter. Big shot for Elliot Perry.
His first basket of the game, 10-point lead for the Suns. Olajuwon. And Chucky Brown on the move. That's off the mark. Barkley with a rebound, tapped and fouled. Foul is on Chucky Brown. 9:39 to play in the first half.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by IBM, solutions for a small planet. By Taco Bell, tacos, burritos, nachos, and a whole lot more. Cross the border. And by the 1995 Mitsubishi Galant, filled with your favorite things.
Welcome back to Phoenix. Charles Barkley and his personal duel with fellow superstar Akeem Olajuwon has the better of the battle so far. Akeem, only in the last minute and a half, just grabbed hit his first field goal. Look at the rebounding difference. Bill Walton knows that right off the bat.
10 boards for a guy with a bad leg. I don't believe he's missed a shot yet either.
missed one, but he's fired up and makes a nice pass to cutting Danny Shea.
Meanwhile, Houston shooting just 30% from the floor.
What the Rockets have to do is calm down and establish themselves. So this means composure and poise. There's plenty of time, plenty of possessions when they're playing against the Phoenix Suns to get back in the game. Shot clock at 5.
I disagree. I think they're too calm.
And Chucky Brown got that shot off just in time.
See, that's composure. Just at the last second, the ball goes in. That's all you need.
I think Houston needs to come out and get more physical, more aggressive, get in Barkley's face. They're going to fall so far behind in this game, they're never going to have a chance to get back.
Elliott Perry hits another. That'll take the pressure off a double team every time. Sam Cassell.
Wild shot. He had a Akeem in the post. Go inside out.
Rockets still scoreless from behind the arc. Barkley's three is off the mark. It's the clock, and they turn it over.
Barkley said it was that much too long. That thing bounced over the rim, but this is a sensational pass, and I'm sure they've talked about it because Danny Shea has got to go to the basket. Elijah Wan returning an easy 2. So both big players passing the ball, making things happen.
Wilt Chamberlain invented that behind-the-back wraparound pass. I didn't know Barkley had ever seen Wilt play.
And the whistle blows. You mean nobody did that before Wilt? No one ever threw a ball behind his back?
From the low post to behind-the-back wraparound, that was Wilt Chamberlain to Gail Goodrich and Jerry West.
Ever?
Well, he shot every time until he got to the Lakers.
Dan Marley with his first personal 8 minutes to play first half. Marley on Drexler. Drexler to the baseline, blocked by Shea. And foul here in the backcourt on Mario Ellie.
Drexler has found a way to get to the basket going baseline, but this time Danny Shea rotates over to get a piece of it to make the save. So they have recognized where Drexler is taking advantage of their defense, and their defense is now starting to rotate. We'll see if Clyde makes an adjustment, comes across the middle.
Suns by 12. Elliott Perry in and out.
Perry finished a distant second to the most improved player in the NBA to Dana Barros this year. Just can't play the defense on Sam Cassell, who finally gets within his shooting range.
Cassell has 4.
No, wait. When he makes a three-pointer, you're going to extend his range?
He was red hot from 3 in Game 6.
Barkley and an offensive foul called underneath. Chucky Brown raises his hand in triumph. There's been a little bit of interaction between Chucky Brown and Charles Barkley all series long.
It's a personal thing. Charles Barkley feels that Chucky Brown is not the player that he is and not in the same class, and he takes exception to Chucky Brown.
Barkley pulls down the rebound. Cassell's miss. Perry along the baseline. And out of bounds to the Suns. 6:59 to play here in the first half. It's Phoenix 32 and Houston 22, and you're watching the NBA on NBC. Welcome back, everyone. Tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern Time, after an NBA Showtime Draft Lottery special, Patrick Ewing and the Knicks look to come all the way back from a 3-1 deficit, but Reggie Miller and the Pacers will try to ruin that dream in a winner-take-all Game 7 matchup. Indiana and the Knicks for a berth in the Eastern Conference Finals. And during halftime of tomorrow's game, NBC Sports presents exclusive coverage of the NBA Draft Lottery. Top college stars like Joe Smith of Maryland, Jerry Stackhouse, Rasheed Wallace of North Carolina, available to the lottery winner. That's tomorrow at halftime here on NBC. Tisdale off the mark.
Hopefully Reggie Miller has learned that if you're going to talk a big game, you better be able to play a big game.
Mario Ellie outside for Chucky Brown. Brown in and out. Barkley and Drexler wins the battle for the rebound, and Ellie will go to the line to shoot 2. You know, again, we're talking about this little one-on-one thing that Chucky Brown and Charles Barkley have had. At one point, Chucky Brown said, well, when this series began, he didn't know who I was. And Barkley responded by saying, I still don't.
Chucky Brown, who had a very solid Game 5, which was critical. Houston, of course, had to have that game. I don't know if Charles should get involved with Chucky Brown. Chucky Brown is a developing player in his 6th year in the NBA, played for 5 different teams in those 6 seasons. Charles Barkley is an MVP. He's an MVP. He's one of 18 guys who've ever done this.
Well, what about these mind games you keep talking about? And what I think Barkley's trying to emphasize that I'm the dominant force out here. You have no business out on the court. And, you know, and that's what he's trying to keep throwing in Chucky Brown's face.
Yeah, but a guy like Barkley should just ignore Chucky Brown until Chucky's made it to a couple All-Star games.
Meanwhile, the Phoenix Suns have turned the ball over for the 8th time today. Children, make nice, okay? Coming up on 6 minutes to play in the first half.
Now, Olajuwon's got Tisdale on his back, and this is going to be a big problem for the Suns. Drexler thought he got fouled there.
So did Rudy T. Danny Ainge open for a 3. Danny Ainge playing in his 193rd playoff game, and Drexler scores at the other end.
Look at Ainge. He did everything he could to get back and make this offensive play.
He hits the 3 out of the corner and almost gets back to make the play on Drexler.
So how about some team defense out here, guys?
Johnson throws it up as he draws the foul from Cassell. Sam Cassell disagrees.
He disagrees, but he agrees. What he's trying to do, and Rudy's trying to tell him, yeah, keep your body on him, make it difficult for Kevin Johnson to shoot under pressure, but don't get into it with the official. That's a clear foul there. And Sam, who grabs holes and does everything to get an advantage, is always going to take exception.
Kevin Johnson, who really came to the top of this league in the 1990 playoffs when he waxed Magic Johnson and the Lakers in the early rounds. Kevin Johnson and the Suns taking care of business in 1990. 4-1 over the Lakers. Kevin Johnson just totally outplaying Magic.
12 points for KJ here this afternoon. 5:20 to play, first half. Olajuwon with Tisdale on. Spins. Tisdale got a hand on it. KJ around his man and draws the foul again.
Olajuwon hasn't really taken advantage of the middle. Right here, he shows the ball early, but he actually got too close to the rim. That's the reason that he missed. Kevin Johnson doing his own calls, and Sam Cassell is saying, you know, guys, let us play.
But Kevin Johnson comes down, explodes right, the defense shifts, he comes back left with more power, and then he finishes back to the right. Good thing that guy's got the ligaments he does in those knees.
Well, it's really important if you're going to defend Kevin Johnson to try to get to him early. If you don't get to him early, then he's going to turn you any way he wants to, and that's been the case for Cassell, who can stay in front of him.
Kevin Johnson, 6 out of 6 from the line, 14 points on the day, and a whistle down low.
Steve, you've been talking about that a number of times during this series, and I agree wholeheartedly. Think back to when we used to play, when Pete Maravich would get that great run at you from the backcourt. There was absolutely nothing you could do. You had to get in his face in the backcourt, make him receive, going away from the hoop, and then pray a lot.
Foul is on Tisdale. Story of the backboards today. Phoenix out-rebounding the Rockets 24-13, and Barkley already with 13.
The man with the bad leg has come out, and he is going to leave it all here. If they lose, it's not going to be because he didn't give it everything that's within his capabilities. The Rockets right now have to withstand this hot stretch. They're going to get back in the ball game. They're down 12, 4:52 to go in the game, and they like to see themselves in single digits at the break.
Hakeem, 4 out of 10, and a foul on Barkley. Bennett Salvatore says, you did it. And Barkley is saying to Bennett Salvatore, call the first one.
Well, he gives Drexler a shot, and here it comes. And there wasn't a foul the first time. There's a basic contact that they've been allowing in the low post.
Barkley retaliating and getting called for it. Olajuwon on Tisdale. And a loose ball foul on Robert Horry.
Barkley is setting the physical and mental tone out here. He's mowing guys. Houston has nobody who's doing that. Akeem generally is able to keep his team in the game or out in front with his great offensive production. That is ice cold today. They need someone, either a Casal or a Robert Horry, somebody to get physical. Challenge Barkley, challenge KJ.
Barkley with 14 rebounds and now 8 points this afternoon.
He was in another planet against the Trailblazers and just manhandled them and blew them out, and they won 3-0. He has calmed down and been more of a mortal in this series, and has had some games in which his wife has not only had her fingers, her toes crossed and saying, come on, Charles, keep it going.
A lot of fingers crossed up there in the seats.
They're ahead.
Phoenix 41, Houston 27. Maureen Barkley says, way to go.
Well, the guy that's got to step up now, other than Olajuwon, is Drexler. Drexler's got the ability to take over a quarter and a game. He's got to start making hoops.
Drexler on the drive. Clyde Drexler. And it's 41-29.
Phoenix is quicker to the ball. They're double teaming Olajuwon. They're getting out. No open looks for Houston.
Kevin Johnson is off the mark. Drexler with the rebound. 4 minutes to play in the first half. They go back to Olajuwon. They'll travel.
A whirling dervish in Olajuwon, he doesn't agree, but Drexler, when he carries the ball to the rim, he has hurt them, and he's got to do more of that. And when he attacks, the defense breaks down. He can also pass the ball out of it.
Terrific ball movement.
Back outside, Ainge for three. Second three-pointer for Danny Ainge. Rudy Tomjanovich says timeout. 3:32 to play here in the first half.
The Rockets' three-point shooting come under pressure. Now they've got to be willing to take the twos because the two-point shot is there for them. Olajuwon was right at the basket.
Robert Horry waited too long to get him the ball and then turned it over.
Has Horry done anything positive today for the Houston Rockets?
Not yet, but that's why you have two halves in a game.
Barkley works his way in, has it blocked, and it's a ball.
Horry is a tremendously valuable player to this Rocket franchise. This is his third year out of Alabama, but just not enough. He's got Barkley in the low box there.
Drexler came over with the block.
The Suns are lucky to get a jump ball out of that because Drexler blocked the ball and actually hit the floor, and they're on the way down the other end.
And Mario Ellie has it. Ainge took a shot in the face. Drexler kicks it outside. Ellie comes up empty.
You said Ainge getting hit in the face. Isn't that every opponent's dream?
Tisdale. And now Marley for three. Ainge can't save it. Every opponent's dream, Bill.
Well, Ainge is your perfect teammate and the guy you love to hate on the other team. Ellie certainly won't go over and apologize for that one. Those guys have a long history, Ellie and Ainge. Ainge faced him up with the ball the end of last year's series.
Olajuwon on the lob over Tisdale. You know, Houston comes into this game today with a playoff best 49.5% shooting from the floor. Today, they've shot less than 32%.
Again, but if you look at the scoreboard, they're not in that bad a shape. They haven't played very well, and that's what Rudy's going to be telling his team as we see Dan Marley drive the ball for the first time in the first half.
4 points for Marley. 46-31, 2 minutes to play. Olajuwon across the lane. The basket will count, and he'll go to the line. Foul is on Tisdale.
For Rudy Tomjanovich, that was a big sigh of relief. A big hoop from Olajuwon under pressure because he's the two-man. If they're going to get their game going, this guy's got to make shots inside. Right now, he's not making them. This one finally goes in. He has a chance to get a three-point play from the line and keep them close. They're down 13. If this goes in, it's a 12-point game with 1:50 to go.
Steve, you've been talking about how Houston is right there. All they got to do is make a little bit of a burst, and it's a game again. To me, it's all Phoenix. As long as Phoenix keeps scoring so easily and Houston's defense is so porous, I don't know if Houston can get back in. Because Akeem doesn't seem to have that magic quality to his game today that separates him from everybody else.
Olajuwon has 11, and Kenny Smith protesting the call against him.
But the beauty of the NBA game is this, that you can be behind and recover. They know that because they did it against these Phoenix Suns a year ago. Down huge, 19 points, came back to win the game. So they know if they can just stay within contact, they've got a shot. With Phoenix, you have to score the ball. Guys like Kevin Johnson, Charles Barkley are going to attack you.
Kevin Johnson 7 for 7 from the line, and AC Green comes back into the game. He'll replace Barkley.
Barkley should go right to the locker room right now and get some extra treatment. Take the minute 44 of time in the half.
Barkley has 9 points, 15 rebounds. Johnson hits them both. He has 16 this afternoon. 48-34, Phoenix. Ellie for 3. Not there. Olajuwon. Drexler steps inside, misses the shot. Suns want to push it. Marley for 3.
Danny Ainge has got to be telling us, I'm going to stop passing to Marley unless he starts making some of those.
Kenny Smith comes back with a 2.
Marley is not a guy that can shoot the ball on the move. So anytime he's dribbling and stopping and popping, his percentage is going to go way down. Now there's a guy that can make a shot on the move.
Kevin Johnson has 18. Suns by 14 points. Ellie on the baseline. And draws.
The Phoenix centers have gotten in foul trouble, that they've had to go to AC Green, that Akeem has had his greatest success. Not that he hasn't been killing Klein and Shays anyway.
Wesley Person on. Shays takes the seat. And that would appear to rotate AC Green into the pivot.
Well, Olajuwon is down, so they're not going to get hurt over this last 49 seconds from Olajuwon's presence in the middle. Sam Cassell coming in the ball game. And right now they say we got too many guys out on the floor. So you got Ori, Smith, Ellie shooting, Drexler, and Pete Chilcutt.
Sam Cassell kind of between here and there. Ellie makes it a 3-point play. 50-39, Phoenix by 11. And we're coming up on 45 seconds to play in the first half. Kevin Johnson. And AC Green grabs it, and a foul goes against the Suns. The foul is on AC Green.
It's a late whistle, but it's the right one. AC Green bodying out Pete Chilcutt out of the way. Now Chilcutt is there to cause Kevin Johnson to miss, and underneath is AC Green.
So we'll come to the other end.
Steve, you played a lot of guard in your day. Is Kenny Smith just a poor defender, or is Kevin Johnson that much better?
Kevin Johnson is that much better, and the problem that Kenny Smith is having is he is letting him come to him. If you're going to do anything with Kevin, you better run down the other end of the floor and try to get with him and try to read his speed and direct him. When he's coming and can change pace and direction, there's absolutely nothing you can do with him except be on your heels, watch him blow by, and sitting at the basket.
Meanwhile, it'd be a nice feeling for the Houston Rockets to go into the locker room in single digits.
They're down 9. They're down 9 right now.
I'd free up Ainge for a 3 right now. He's been hot.
Horry blocks Marley from behind.
Get the ball to KJ. Penetrate. Spot up Person or Ainge. Tell Marley to go to the weak side and rebound.
Johnson lost it.
They got a 3-on-1. They got numbers if they can read it.
Kenny Smith down the lane. Offensive foul. That's number 3 on Smith.
Kenny Smith was out of control. That's the reason for the charge. Right here, they got a chance to get to the middle and make a pass, and he forces the issue. But you see Danny Ainge do the little pull at the same time. That's why people dislike Danny Ainge so much.
Unless he's on your team, then you love him.
Last 15 seconds of the period.
Now look at the defensive position of Kenny Smith. So he's trying to figure out where Kevin Johnson is going, but he needs to go and close that space.
Johnson, Perry, and foul is called on the Rockets. Mario Ellie. That's number 2 on Ellie. And Elliot Perry goes to the line with 3 seconds to play here in the first half.
Ellie, one of the bench guys for Houston, has done so well. They really only play a 3-man bench. Cassell, Ellie, and Chucky Brown.
AC Green in for Wesley Person. 3 seconds to play.
So tough to play behind a superstar. Elliot Perry getting the inconsistent minutes in the playoffs.
It's 1 out of 2. 10-point lead. Sam Cassell. The long heave is going to be just a bit too long. Top of the backboard. Hakeem Olajuwon with 11. Kevin Johnson
playing poorly but hanging around, down by 10 at halftime. Olajuwon 11 points on 3 of 10 shooting, just 5 of 11.
Olajuwon has outscored Charles 11-9, but Barkley has just 1 rebound less than the entire Houston Rockets team in the first half. The foul situation, well, Olajuwon is looking at 3 centers, each of whom has 3 fouls. Here we go. Houston with the basketball. Drexler to the basket right away. Got the bucket and the foul. Foul is on Wesley Person.
When Houston fell behind big early, Clyde had very few and infrequent touches. Now they come right out, open up with him, 3-point play opportunity.
3-point play as Drexler gets the Rockets off on the right foot here in the second half. 51-44.
Wesley Person playing with his shoe untied. Have to run up and down the court when you're tripping on your laces.
Barkley. And foul is on Robert Horry.
Horry was yelling that's an offensive foul, but Charles Barkley gets a whistle his way. Barkley cannot jump. So he's trying to use his body and position. He's going to fade. Nice pass.
Pass indeed for AC Green.
Robert Horry has not scored. He's got 1 assist and 1 rebound in the game.
Only the 5th point of the afternoon for AC Green. 53-44. Olajuwon. And Klein might have jammed a finger. He immediately waves for the trainer.
That's a dislocation. Generally, you need somebody to yank it back in for him.
And a 20-second timeout for the Phoenix Suns as
They don't want it. They make a substitution. The ball is out of bounds, so the dead ball, but on the plate coming down, you can see the hand. It hit Olajuwon's hand, actually, and the finger immediately pops out.
How tough is Olajuwon? The guy gets hacked and the other guy gets hurt.
Shot clock is at 6. Kenny Smith got to make something happen now. Hoists up 3. So the Rockets get a 3-point play and a 3-point shot to get things started here. 53-47 Suns.
Their defensive energy is either going to carry them this half or it's going to be the reason that they lose, and they double up on Barkley.
KJ out of the corner. Kevin Johnson shot only 15% during the regular season. He's hitting half his 3-point shots in the playoffs. Olajuwon inside.
Houston's making a mistake defensively. Don't double-team Barkley here. He's looking to pass the ball.
They've got to recognize the injury and let Robert Horry do what Robert Horry can do, which will be make him take fadeaway jump shot.
Wesley Person for 3. The rookie out of Auburn. The number 9 3-point shooter during the regular season in the league. Clyde Drexler. Got the bucket and the foul.
That may be the reason they take Wesley Person out of the game. He doesn't have the strength to keep Drexler out of the box. Kevin Johnson penetration creates a wide open opportunity for Wesley Person. That's what you want to break down. On the other end, you can see Person just doesn't have the strength to keep Drexler from posting.
They've never had that big guard, with the exception of Marley, who can play defense on the great explosive off guards, the Jordans, the Drexler. Jeff Hornacek was certainly an offensive machine when he was here, but certainly couldn't stop anybody.
4 personals on Person, and that foul is on Drexler. Let's check in with Hannah Storm. Hannah.
Greg, Joe Klein has dislocated the middle finger on his right hand. The doctor has just popped it back into place, and he will be back on the court momentarily. Greg?
Oh, Joe Klein sounds like a hockey player, doesn't he?
That really hurts when you dislocate your fingers.
Hey, a paper cut under the fingernail ruins my week.
The first time. After it happens once or twice or 10 times, then it's not a problem anymore.
Oh, it doesn't hurt anymore?
Not after the 5th or 6th time.
Olajuwon. Chilka off the baseline is there. So the Rockets have come out in the second half shooting the ball much better. It's 59-54.
And it's a half-court game.
Rockets haven't missed. They haven't missed, and the Suns have only missed 1.
Barkley steals a peek at the shot clock. It's at 5. Olajuwon out to help out. Barkley going to have to throw up a 3. No, a whistle blows and a 3-second violation on the Suns. Anybody feel a momentum swing?
And the fact is that Barkley can't change it. Klein trying to get back in the game here, but Barkley can't change it because he's just moving very badly, and nobody's happier about that than Dennis Rodman.
Drexler, and a nice pass from Pete Chilka. The Rockets are within 3.
Drexler 8 1/4, all of them down low going to the basket.
And timeout, Phoenix. This is a 20-second timeout, and now it's a full timeout. 8:37 to play. The defending champions on the road back.
See the result. A clear pass into Drexler, wide open. He powers his way up for the hoop. You get another look at what he saw, which is a cutter going to the basket. Anytime you go to the basket, no pressure on the passer, your defense is going to get hurt.
Speaking of defense, both teams come out shooting well. Kevin Johnson. Phoenix now 4 for 5 from the floor, and Houston a perfect 6 out of 6. That breaks a 7-point Rockets run. Olajuwon short on the turnaround. Klein has the rebound.
Westphal has gone with Dan Marley to try to slow down Drexler. He anticipates a huge explosion.
Kevin Johnson again.
That's the guy that's going to have to keep him on the lead. He is the guy that's going to have to be aggressive at the offensive end. Barkley cannot do it. Let's see if they come back to Drexler or go back to Olajuwon.
Kevin Johnson has knocked down 25 this afternoon. Drexler with Barkley on it. Shot clock at 3. Kenny Smith casts off, and that's Horton out of bounds.
It was touched.
And it's touched by a Phoenix Sun.
Well, they're saying a shot clock violation, and Barkley's doing his deal for the official.
What Houston needs to do defensively right now, put Akeem Olajuwon on Barkley. And then who's ever guarding the center, Shays, Klein, Ray Green, have them go and double team Kevin Johnson, take the ball out of his hands, because he's not going to lose this game, Kevin Johnson, today.
Well, Olajuwon went out of the game. He's holding his wrist, so there's apparently some sort of problem for him over there. They want to see if they can't get it taken care of, because the last ball he shot it short. He looks like he's in a lot of pain.
And that's the same wrist that he hurt in the Utah series that you guys had in Game 5 up there.
He didn't hurt it bad enough, because Utah'd still be playing.
Hakeem says, I can play. Houston just 1 out of 10 from three-point range. Kevin Johnson just looking to do it all and draws a foul. That's Kevin Johnson's mom, Georgia, who is one of the more vociferous fans in the arena. That's 4 fouls on Kenny Smith, incidentally.
Foul trouble killed Kenny Smith in the big loss, Game 4, when KJ went for 43, including 16 out of 17 shots during one stretch.
Kevin Johnson. Drexler.
Robert Horry is shying away from contact today.
Hakeem with the fadeaway, and that's off the mark. Comes back to make the steal from behind, but then fouls Green. That's 3 on Olajuwon.
Olajuwon, who tries to always make plays with his hands, tried to get in there. AC Green warded him off, so he picks up the foul.
Hakeem Olajuwon is 10th all-time in the NBA in steals for a center. Remarkable.
Johnson floats down the lane, turn around by Klein.
And Paul Westphal is going to say, don't dislocate your other finger, too.
Drexler out of the corner, nails a long 3. 65-59 Phoenix. Drexler has 21. Back comes Kevin Johnson. And Cassell knocks him over.
Joe Klein, and this is a tough shot for Klein. He's a guy that faces the basket, a spinning jumper, and his reaction is no way, no way.
Then Clyde Drexler out of the corner with a long 3. Meanwhile, Kevin Johnson will go to the line where he is a perfect 8 for 8 this afternoon.
Sam Cassell just gave up a foul. Not a good decision on his part. Kevin Johnson on that last penetration made a little bit of contact. Cassell went down. He got back up and just pushed Kevin Johnson down in front of the official. An easy call to make, and Sam's got to stay in the game. They got to get something out of him.
Kevin Johnson, this quarter, 9 points. Drexler answering right back. When a guy has a hot hand in basketball, you got to double team him. You can't wait for him to cool off.
Shilcutt for a 3. The Suns in a hurry. Kevin Johnson going to put it up. AC Green will go to the line. What hustle by Kevin Johnson. Missed the shot, but deflected the long rebound.
This is where it hurts. That's a rebound they should have had. They don't get it. Olajuwon looking out at Salvatore saying, you know, I didn't foul him, but AC Green gets the benefit of the doubt and the whistle and a chance to push the lead back to 10. Olajuwon's going to have to come out of the ball game, so that means they got no inside presence to set up their three-point shooting. Chucky Brown comes in.
Boy, Joe Klein goes to the bench to a standing ovation.
Phoenix surging right now. I don't believe Rudy Tomjanovich can go very long with Hakeem Olajuwon on the bench. Just a minute at the most. Get him back in there. The way Phoenix is rebounding, the way KJ is dominating offensively.
You got 17 minutes left in the game. It's now a 9-point game. Drexler's carrying him in the period. He can get by. What they've got to do is start penetrating with the ball with Gasol and Drexler taking it to the basket.
Well, when you got 4 fouls and you're Hakeem Olajuwon playing against Klein and Shays,
That will not count. Marley with the foul before the shot.
you just forget about playing defense. You just play offense. You shoot your jumper. You take your turnaround, your jump hook in the lane.
You know, since you sat down, I think you forgot about that competitive spirit. You know, guys like you that were shot blockers and Hakeem chase all of those shots. You just can't resist it. Clyde at the basket.
Clyde Drexler again. Drexler has 23.
Hakeem does have the record for most block shots in a playoff game, 10.
Tisdale up against Chilcutt. And Chilcutt guilty of the foul. Let's go back to Drexler.
Drexler was a franchise player in Portland, so he knows what it's like to assume the scoring responsibility. Dan Marley can't handle him, and he just reels in. That's 13 and a quarter for Drexler, so he's keeping his team close. That's all they want to do right now is stay in the game.
Missed free throws killed Phoenix in the apparent closing game as Hakeem's wrist is bothering him somewhat.
Tisdale gets 1 out of 2. Let's check in with Hannah Storm.
Actually, Greg, it's not the wrist that's bothering Hakeem Olajuwon. He has sustained a contusion, a bruise on the top of his hand between his thumb and his forefinger. He's gotten freezing spray on it a couple of times and now is sitting on the sidelines with an ice pack on it, Greg.
All right, Hannah, thank you.
They're doubling Drexler, trying to get him out of the low post.
Cassell with a 3 around and out. AC Green with a rebound. Barkley gonna keep it and then tries to dish it off. It goes out of bounds.
That effort you could see, no elevation. Normally he'd be able to have some time in the air, and he just turned that one over.
And there's Drexler with a save to Chucky Brown, blocked and fouled by Tisdale. This was almost a throwaway at the other end.
And they wanted to travel, but Drexler is able to finally get control, and Chilcutt hits the cutter going to the basket. Tisdale not in agreement, but have we seen anybody say, yes, I fouled somebody today?
I didn't know traveling was still a violation in the NBA, Steve.
Steve, do me a favor, don't get him started. We still have the finals to go through. Chucky Brown to the free throw line.
This is where it's great for a guy like Chucky Brown. Comes from nowhere, just played half the season, picked up from the CBA. Now they're booing him as he's got a chance to move on and send the home crowd and Barkley home.
2 for 2 on that trip to the line. 69-63. The Rockets down by 6. Kevin Johnson. And Drexler pulls it down and takes off.
It's Drexler's game right now.
Cassell, a little stop and go inside. Got the basket and the foul.
In the open court, Cassell is as dangerous as any player in the league. A little hesitation, and Marley and AC Green go for it. When you got a guy like Sam Cassell, you got to try to keep him in front of you, make him shoot jump shots over the top. He's got a knack for squeezing the ball off inside, a three-point play, and a big one for the Rockets.
2 fouls on AC Green. Rockets are down 3, 4:15 to play in the third.
dribbling off to Kevin Johnson. He can't do that. He's the hot hand. They got to send somebody else.
Marley blocked by Chilcutt.
Oh, Westfall's got to come with Danny Ainge.
Houston has not led since 2-0. Cassell on the drive. Rockets are within 1, and Phoenix wants time. With the shot clock running down, Dan Marley had to force the drive, and Pete Chilcutt was there for the block. And then at the other end of the floor, Sam Cassell puts the Rockets within 1. They haven't had as much reason to cheer as the Suns fans, but a contingent of 150 Houston Rockets fans who chartered in from Houston last night are getting their chance to yell as the Rockets have moved to within a point with less than 3.5 to play here in the third. Greg Gumbel, Steve Jones, Bill Walton, Hannah Storm, and a whistle on the play against Sam Cassell. At the very top of the day, we talked about how Charles Barkley was outstanding in first halves of games and was disappearing in the second half, Bill, and so far it's the case today.
Who knows if it's the knee? Who knows if it's fatigue in old age? Who knows if it's just great defense? Situation, though, where he's got to do something. Because right now, this is a Houston-paced game. They're in control. Drexler is on fire, and Hakeem is resting.
Let's go check in with Hannah Storm. Hannah.
Well, you're wondering about the knee, and Charles Barkley did tell me at halftime that the knee was very painful in the first half. Remember, he requested a second shot from the doctors during halftime, and he was so frustrated during that timeout, Greg, that he threw a full cup of water into the huddle and said something that I can't repeat to you right now, Greg.
You will tell us later, though, won't you, Hannah? 3:15 to play.
I'm glad I didn't hear that.
A big foul, though.
Chilcutt for 3, and we're tied at 71.
The big foul that Sam Cassell has 4. They're going to isolate Kevin Johnson. They're going to attack him. Cassell has to stay in the game because he's creating problems the other way.
Kevin Johnson. Barkley with the rebound. AC Green. Phoenix by 2.
Why is Sam Cassell continuing to double-team Barkley?
Cassell for 3. And for the first time since 2-0, Houston leads.
They want Kevin Johnson to be a jump shooter. So that's what they're trying to do. Make him shoot the ball, but they got to rebound the ball. Barkley gets his first rebound and a hoop of the second half.
This is where adrenaline and pride, the great inner strength of champions like Charles Barkley take hold.
Cassell to the basket and got the bounce. Rockets by 1 and 2 minutes to play in the third.
In the first half, no one for Houston played well. Westfall wants a 20-second timeout. Nobody sees him. They're ignoring him. Right now, everyone's playing well for Houston.
Barkley blocked. Barkley again. Doesn't fall for him. Rockets with the rebound. And there's a foul on AC Green.
Not only did Sam Cassell draw the foul, and AC Green's on one knee. Chucky Brown came over, gave him a little knee in the back while he was down, just to dig it in a little bit.
Well, accidents will happen.
Sam Cassell has given this team a huge lift. Kenny Smith was struggling. He got a three-pointer. Then he's down. He seems to be having some sort of physical problems over there. And Cassell comes in and has